Everyone, welcome back to the calculator project. So we did kind of the first basic part of the calculator, and it's pretty basic. So if I run it, you're going to see that. Hello, you want to work? Okay, there it is. So if I do 2, and then I hit like 3, we just get 2 and then 3. We want to get like 23. So I still work. So if I do like 5 times 6, we get 30. So that's great, but we can do a little bit more than that. So what we actually want to do is we want to go to where we enter the numbers in. So right here is where we enter the numbers in. We do it on this numClick method right here, and we're running it in here for when we hit each button. Now, what we actually want to do is we want to check if first num is entered like we did before, but because that's our Boolean that allows us to see if we hit an operator or not yet. But basically, we also want to check if first num equals an empty string. Now you could do it in a different way if you want, but when I built it in JavaScript, this is the way I did it, so I'm just going to keep this way going. And then we're going to do an else, and then basically what we're going to say is that if it's not an empty string, then first num is just going to be equal to first num. You could just do plus equals num too. Could do that. We'll just do that. Plus equals num. Okay, and that basically just means, if you've never seen that before, it's just first num equals first num plus num. Okay, cool. Now, we actually need to do the same thing down here, and there's actually one more thing we need to do too. We need to say result.setText equals first num. Okay, great. And then same thing here. So we're going to say result, no, sorry, down here. Up here, I mean. If second num is equal to an empty string, then, no, wrong one, here. Like that, sorry, that got a little messy. Delete that, and then we're going to come down here, and then we'll say, so if it's not an empty string, then we'll do the same exact thing. We'll say second num plus equals num, and then we'll say result dot set text second num. And actually, if you want to be a little bit more clean with your code, you could do this. You could delete both of these here, like this, because one of those will run, and just put that here, and then you could delete both of these right here, and we'll copy this one, or cut it, and then do something like that. And then now you can just a way to shorten up your code a little bit. Okay, so basically, after each one of these run, the set text will run for each. That way you don't have to repeat yourself. Okay, so that should work, but we have one problem, and that one problem is that these need to equal empty strings to start with now, because they would not equal empty strings, they'd be undefined. And we are going to check if they're empty strings. Okay, that's just the way I like to do it, and we're setting them back to empty strings in the clear method, which is right here. So we set them back to empty strings, so I feel like it'd just be better to start them as empty strings. Okay, just that way we're consistent. All right, let's check this. Let's run this, and let's see if there's anything. I think we're good on that. That should actually work. Okay, so let's get that up. So let's do like 22 minus 17, and we should get 5, and we do. Great. Okay, so that works. That was a really easy, that was a really good start. The thing we need to do now, which is actually going to be pretty, not rough, but it's going to be a little bit harder, is when we hit like 22, and then we do like minus 5, and then we do like minus 5 again, we want that to work, and like nothing happens. So we want to be able to take the result, right, and kind of, we want to take the result and basically be able to do some type of calculation off of that. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. And to tell you the truth, I'm going to make a little change real quick, because I kind of have a little bit of a naming issue here with something that I did, because I'm doing result.setText for pretty much everything. And, that's fine. I'll just keep it going. Actually, it's not great to use result because basically, even like here in the first num click, when I do, I'm doing result.setText is first num, but really that's not really the result. That's just basically the number that I hit. But so I could say like, so it just is a little bit misleading. It'd be better if I chose a name like result screen or something like that, so that basically the screen that was up here, you knew that was the number that was showing. But that's okay for now. It's not bad. It's actually kind of bad though. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to, like I said, make it so that we can basically do something with the result. So we're going to get a private string, and we're actually going to set it to result. Now we can't use result because we used it for text view up here, but we could say result number. That works. So it's a little confusing because it's a string, but we're just going to keep it all in the family with strings. We actually don't. We really don't need to, actually. We can actually set that to an int. Probably might actually maybe make it easier. And yeah, let's see if that should actually make it easier. Okay, so we're going to come down here, and when we do the operation is when we're going to have to change this. And what we're actually going to have to do before we do anything is we're going to also set a private boolean, and we're going to call it, and we're going to set it to have result. Okay, and basically now when we do this operation, we're going to check if we have a result. If we don't have a result, we'll do this right here, what we already have. And if else, so if we do have a result, then what we actually want to do is we want to do result.setText, and then it's going to be add, and that's going to be result number, and then we're also going to put in integer.value of. Now what do we want to do the value of? And we want to basically do the number that's after the result. So we have to create one more, we'll create one more string. So we'll say private string num after result. And that's all the variables we're going to have to make pretty much. I think that's actually it. So we'll come back here all the way down. So integer.value of num after result. Okay, so we don't have, this isn't going to work just yet because we don't have the result number, but I will do that in just a second. For right now, we just need to copy this all the way down here, which is going to be a little bit of a pain. So here we'll do if have result, and we'll come down here, and we'll put in, looks bad. What is up with this formatting? Usually Android Studio does such a good job with formatting. It's sucking right now. Did I mess something up? No. They're just not doing a good job. Okay, that actually looks good now. Okay, so else, basically, same thing. We're going to do result.setText. It's going to be equal to, this time it's going to be subtract, and then it'll be once again result number, and then it'll be this guy right here. So we can copy that, bring that down. And I'm just going to copy this whole thing, this else right here, because we're going to need that pretty much each one. This is basically going to be like just more verbose and boring, but really not too hard. No, down here. There we go. Better formatting. And then basically just paste that in, and then put that curly bracket back. And then we have to change this to divide. And then one more. So basically we're checking if we have a result, and if we do have a result, then we're going to actually we're going to take the result number and do the same calculation, because divide takes in a result number, and it takes in basically an A and like a number and a second number. And basically divide, if I go down to it, just takes in a first num and a second num, which are both ints, and then it just returns a string that does the calculation, okay? So let me get back up to that. I just wanted to explain, just in case I'm not really making too much sense to anybody, which wouldn't be a surprise. And then last one, same thing, have result, and then we're gonna say, we're just gonna move this bracket down. I could probably just use Alt and move it down like that, but it's fine. And then we'll come back up here, and then we'll do the else, just like that, and instead we need to change it to multiply. Okay, so we're on the right track. We have another problem that, so we're checking if have result is false. There's nothing that's ever going to turn it to true. So we actually want to start have result as false. Okay. We want to start have result as false. And then basically as we go through here, this method looks a little messy, but it's gonna have to do for now. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say have result equals true. And then you can just copy that, and we're going to put it in each line, which is kind of annoying. I should have just done that, but there we go. And one more. Okay, great. That's good. So now, once this runs once, it'll have result will be true. So then it'll be this one next time. And have result, let's see, because this is right. This is for do operations. So, okay, yeah, that works. So since we're doing the operation here, that means we basically hit the equals button. So that's basically just saying that we hit the equals button. Okay. So the next time when we hit the equals button again, it's like, okay, we already have a result. That makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you. If you don't understand, you can ask me in the comments. I love when people ask comments, not because it's like good for my YouTube or anything, but I just like the interaction. Not even kidding. Read some of my comments on my other video. I got way too into it. Okay, so result number is something that we have to address still, because we have that plugged in, but we don't actually we don't actually define it anywhere or give it any value anywhere. And same thing with num after result. So we'll do num after result first. So basically here in the number click, we're going to check. So we're going to say else. And so basically that's if is first number entered and if second number is already entered. Then we basically know that if they're both entered, then basically all we need to do, and we need to make sure clear all sets that back to false now. So we're going to say is second, yep, is false. And then we also, sorry, I know I'm bouncing around a lot, but when we do the operation, we want to, we want to also set is second number entered to true if we don't have the result. Sorry, I know this is probably like, you're probably going mad watching me do this. Or if you're following along, you're like, dude, just stay in one spot. Sorry. Okay, so now if there's neither one, then basically num after result is going to be equal to num. And once again, we're going to have to check if num after result is an empty string, just like we did above. And then if it's not an empty string, then num after result will be plus equal to num. Okay, pretty good. So that's pretty good. That's that handles num after result. Now we just need to handle the result number. Okay, and that is going to be a little bit trickier. Basically, we just need to, we're going to have the result number here. So when we hit the equals, we just need to set the result number to whatever this text is here, which kind of stinks. Actually, no, hold on, wait. I think we can make this work. Just so what we could probably do is, this is kind of hacky. It's just the way I set it up before. I'd have to delete some code, but we could basically just set result number equal to first num plus second num. And that actually I think will work. That's like a really hacky way to do it, but I think that's actually the cleanest way to do it. And then we're just gonna have to do it the whole way down. So result number will be equal to first num times second num. And I'll explain why I just did this in a second, because that's probably gonna be really confusing. First num divided by second num. And then lastly, result number will be equal to first num minus second num. Okay, so let me explain why I did this down here, because I feel like I could have confused a lot of people there. Basically, I know I'm going to need a result number, okay? I need that result number because I need to store that calculation somewhere. All right, I really, really need to store that calculation somewhere. Otherwise, like when we do, and I haven't restarted the thing yet, so it's not going to work. But when I do like 22 times 3, and then I hit, so I get 66, okay? But I want to be able to store this 66 somewhere. All right, so it's really, really important that I store that 66 somewhere. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, so I need to store that 66 so then the next time I do a calculation, basically, which will be, the next calculation will be here. No, yes, it'll be here. The next calculation will be able to be doing the add method on the result number now, which I just stored, and the num after result, which I basically create. So let's see if this works. It honestly could. Like, there's a chance it doesn't, but I think it might. So we'll do like 1 plus 3. We'll get 4, and then we should do like plus 3, and we don't see that, and that's because I'm hoping that's just a simple error that I made, and yep, it is. And that's just that I needed to set num after result, result, not return, not result number, result.set text is going to be num after result. Result.set text num after result. So like I said earlier, that's actually bad practice. Only not really that big of a deal, but if you can remove them, you should. You just don't want to ever have to type anything twice if you don't need to. There we go. Good. Okay, so let's run this and let's see if this actually works now. Basically what happened there was I didn't set the number after result to show up on the screen. So it might have worked still, it just might not have been showing. So let's do like 5 plus 6, and let's do like plus 9, and we get null 9. That's not good. Okay, so that's bad news. I'm honestly not sure what happened. Try it again. 5 plus 7, and then plus. So we're getting null 3, and I actually have just no idea why. So let me just think about it for a second. And I think that's because we wanted to set num after result to an empty string. Because, actually no, that really wouldn't make a difference. Because, oh yeah, I think that actually was what it was. Because we're doing this check, but since num after result wasn't an empty string, I'm hoping that's what it was. If it's not, then just imagine I'm going to be upset and sad. So 5 plus 6 equals plus no null. There we go, 17. Yeah, nice. So if we do like plus 9, we should get, oh, that's not good. All right, so I mean, like we're getting a start there. We got to do a little bit more. So 6 plus 9 equals. Okay, so we have a problem with our clear method. So we need to set num after result back to an empty string, equal to an empty string, and then we also need to do have result is also set back to false. Okay, so that's a better start. We're still not there yet though. We need to do a little bit more cleanup, and then we're looking pretty good. So 23 plus 5 plus 17, that works. So then now num after result was getting messed up here. So we're going to have something that we need to change a little bit. Basically, we're going to have to set num after result back to an empty string after we do each one of these. That's the problem. So if I do like plus 6, we get 176. So basically, after we do the operation, we need to set num after result equal to an empty string. And I'm hoping. No, that won't. Yeah. Right? Hold on, let me just think about this for a second. So if the operation is equal to, yeah, so we don't have the result. Oh yeah, that's right. That looks good. Let's just try it. You know what? There's only one way to find out sometimes. There's smart people and then there's me. I just plug things in and hope it works. I'm kind of kidding. Kind of not. If only my sense of humor was better, maybe more people would watch my videos. Okay. Let's check it out. I think we're going to be good here. Okay, so 5 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7. Yeah, there we go. All right, that worked. Okay, cool. 2 minus 5 minus 7. Cool. Minus 8. Great. Okay, awesome. So now we need to really the last thing that we could do, that we probably should do, is, well, we could do a decimal, but that honestly would just be more work and really unnecessary unless you really need a decimal. It basically, like, it already works as a string anyway, so everything already works as a string. So all you would need to do to make it a decimal is basically you just convert everything to a double and then just add a decimal keypad, like a decimal number on there. I will make everything a double instead of an int. Just everything that's an int, basically I'm just going to make a double. And that's going to be a little bit of time. So if you want to end the video there, you're more than welcome to do it. But that way we can actually get, you know what, that's actually fine. We're just going to end the video there. I feel like that's pretty, like, I don't really need to explain why we would do that. Basically, if you don't know, a double basically allows us to just have decimals. But then we'd have to change all our conversions too. So so the reason we would do that, if you're wondering, is if we did like 7 divided by 4, you're just going to get something funky, like 1. And I mean, it's like 1 point something, I think. But yeah, so, but we don't want 1 though. Okay, so it just looks weird to think that 7 divided by 4 would be 1. So it just like really threw me off. But yeah, so if you wanted to convert everything to a double, you'd have to do like all your conversions though. So you'd have to come down here. So basically when we do like integer.valueIf, you'd have to change all of that. And I just feel like that's pretty unnecessary. And the decimal would be a little bit more fun, but I feel like it's pretty like if you understand everything else we did, then I feel like adding the decimal on your own would probably be pretty easy too. Okay. All right. So that's it. I actually did that pretty fast. So I feel like I should have just added that onto the second video, and added that onto the first video and just done one big video, but that's cool. Not worry about it. Anyway, that's it for this video. And next I'll be doing a calculator in iOS. So I'm either going to put that up tonight or I'll put that up tomorrow. So see you guys on that one maybe. See you later.